those who need help this season.
Plus, Israel ramps up war efforts in Gaza as the U.S. pushes aid to the area.
And in sports, a Waterford Wildcat set a school record. Hear what went into the record-breaking performance. Newswatch starts right now. Good evening, I'm Cameron Nutt.
And I'm Haley Swano. Welcome to Newswatch. Well, tax day will be here before you know it.
That's right, Haley. And joining us in studio is Newswatch reporter Allison Patton with ways to help you pay your taxes.
Cameron and Haley, tax season is here, but don't wait until tax day on April 15th to get it out of the way. AARP is offering free tax assistance in Athens County.
Inside the LDS Church in the Plains, folks are getting help filing their tax returns, all thanks to AARP's tax preparation service. Tax preparation can cost hundreds of dollars, but AARP offers this service for free.
That a lot of times can be food on their table, or gas in their gas tank to get back and forth to work.
The program is open to anyone who makes an appointment.
We think everybody, regardless of age or income, should have access to quality tax preparation.
The Plains coordinator, Catherine Bowditch, says her site has 8 IRS certified volunteers who do hundreds of tax returns.
We filed 225 taxes for people.
Over at their Coolville location, coordinator Mary Spears says they are expecting over 200 clients this year.
Last year we did about 150. This year, according to the Coolville Library's calendar, we're going to do more.
The Coolville Library will be open Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The LDS Church has appointments available on Mondays and Wednesdays from 9 a.m. to noon. Appointment spots are filling up quickly, so call sooner rather than later.
Probably if you call now, you probably cannot even get in February. They're probably into March.
The last appointments will wrap up the second week of April.
To schedule an appointment at the Coolville location, please call 740-737-6036. To schedule a time in the Plains, please call 740-818-1629. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Allison Patton, live in studio.
Thanks, Allison. An Ohio grant program can provide students with healthcare services and the community with job-related programming. The Appalachian Community Innovation Centers program released official guidelines this week. K-12 and vocational school districts and some political subdivisions can apply for funding. Eligible projects include new construction, renovations, and the expansion of existing facilities. Applications open today and close March 21st. For more information, visit the program website at ofcc.ohio.gov.
Well, it's been pretty nice outside lately, and joining us now with more is our forecaster, Leah Frizzell. Leah, who is to thank for this nice weather we're having?
Well, you can thank the little thing called the El Nino mixed with some high pressure system that's been over our area, giving us these really nice temperatures over the past few days. And today we saw those temperatures, a temperature high of 54 degrees. And that temperature low is going to dip down into the 30s overnight. So if you have any late night plans, make sure you bring that jacket with you. We're actually sitting at 48 degrees right now. So we're starting to see those temperatures decline as we reach these evening hours. And then into tonight, again, we're going to see these temperatures low around 31 degrees overnight. So again, make sure you have that jacket with you if you have any late night walks or have any late night plans this Wednesday. Tomorrow, we're going to see more of these beautiful temperatures, 61 degrees for our high, and that low is going to be 44 degrees. But we're actually going to have this low pressure system start moving into our area, bringing in some clouds with it. So we won't have as sunny as a day tomorrow, but more on this in my full forecast.
Thanks, Leah. Well, if you or someone you know is struggling to keep the heat on this winter, there are ways to help keep warm this season. The Ohio Department of Development and Washington Morgan County Community Action is heading the Home Energy Assistance Winter Crisis Program. It plans on helping pay utility or bulk fuel bills and assist eligible Ohioans in paying for heating system repairs. This program is running until March 31st. For more information, you can contact Washington-Morgan County Community Action. Well, the National Transportation Safety Board will return to East Palestine in June. After a devastating Norfolk Southern train derailment in East Palestine a year ago, NTSB is going to reveal its findings. The NTSB is scheduling a series of public meetings on June 24th and June 26th to release answers from the investigations. The focus of the meetings will be on implementing new safety measures.
A new request made by the National Collegiate Athletic Association may ban bets on individual college athletes. This request comes after a little over a year, since the launch of Ohio's sports gambling program. Governor DeWine and college athletic directors are backing college athletes, saying the athletes are receiving threats if bets don't go someone's way. Several other states already prohibit betting on individual athletes' performances. Bipartisan efforts in Ohio are working to cap the high insulin costs. Millions of Ohioans depend on insulin to manage their diabetes. The Inflation Reduction Act in 2022 capped the cost of insulin at $35, but that was only for seniors. Now, bills in both the House and Senate would expand the $35 charge to all Ohioans. The House version caps the cost of non-prescription blood ketone level kits at $100. The American Diabetes Association says a total of 25 states have also capped copays for insulin. Coming up, Israel says it will not agree to a ceasefire with Hamas. What the U.S. is doing to help ease tensions.
And inflation is beginning to ease, but why households might not see a bright spot just yet.
We've seen a big warm up in temperatures first week of February, and how this might be coming to an end when Newswatch returns.
Every year, shorebirds take to the sky for a marathon migration.
The way a group looks, the way they move together, it is remarkable.
They follow ancient routes called flyways. But the world beneath their wings is changing.
We see a population that is declining.
We learn from the birds as canaries in the coal mine because they tell a global story that the world has troubles.
Tonight at 8 on WOUB.
Sometimes we have to look that monster right in the face. Show we're not afraid of it anymore.
Love is the best thing we have. It's the only thing we have.
No more secrets. I just want to be right here in this moment with you.
I trust nothing untoward has occurred.
Bright things ahead, darling. Brightness and joy.
Those that underestimate us should do so at their own peril.
And if they do, so bloody what?
Open your eyes.
Action! Best episode ever.
The Black preaching tradition is deeply connected to gospel music. Our singers preach and our preachers sing.
God, we ask that you reinvigorate somebody.
You feel it deep down in your soul. It makes you want to shout, it makes you want to sing.
That's beautiful.
Monday at 9 on WOUB.
Amid growing tensions between Israel and Hamas, the U.S. Secretary of State is in Israel today to call an end to the conflict in Gaza. Michael Yoshida has more.
As the conflict in Gaza wages on, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken in Israel Wednesday, pressing leaders for a humanitarian pause in the Israel-Hamas war. Blinken's visit happening as Hamas has presented a counteroffer to a hostage and truce framework aimed at the release of hostages in Gaza and a stop in fighting.
While there are some clear non-starters in Hamas's response, we do think it creates space for agreement to be reached.
The Hamas plan has 3 45-day-long phases. It includes the release of hostages held in Gaza in exchange for Palestinian prisoners in Israel, a massive humanitarian effort the ability for Palestinians to move freely throughout Gaza, and the withdrawal of Israeli troops.
Surrendering to the Hamas unbelievable demands will only ask for another disaster.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been adamant that the war will not end until there is, quote, complete victory over Hamas.
I told Blinken today that after we destroy Hamas, we will secure that Gaza is a safe area.
Israel's offensive in Gaza, which was launched after the deadly Hamas attack on Israel exactly 4 months ago, has led to a humanitarian crisis, with tens of thousands of Palestinians dead and others pouring into the Rafah area as food, water, shelter, and medicine shortages increase. Satellite images showing a previously open area in Rafah now filled with a makeshift tent city, estimated to hold more than 1 million displaced citizens. I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
By one vote, Senate Republicans blocked a key border security and foreign aid package. The measure included aid for Ukraine and Israel, as well as money to secure the border. The bill has drawn criticism from former President Donald Trump, who says the bill is too weak. But some key moderate Republicans voted yes, going against the former president. Those Republicans say their vote has nothing to do with Trump's disapproval of the bill. President Biden says Republicans are denying help to people who need it most.
Opposing this bill, they're denying aid to the people who are really suffering and desperately need help. So Republicans have to decide, who do they serve? Donald Trump or the American people?
Similarly, key Democrats, including Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, voted no. Killing the bill enables Schumer to force a procedural vote on an emergency aid package for Israel, Ukraine, and Taiwan. Alaska Airlines' terrifying mid-air door blowout from last month can happen again. That's according to an NTSB preliminary report that found 4 key bolts on the door were missing. These missing bolts were traced to Boeing's Washington state plant, where the plane was getting repairs before the incident. Boeing CEO says Boeing accepts responsibility for what happened. NTSB Chair Jennifer Homedy says responsibility isn't just on Boeing, but also the FAA.
There's no way that this plane should have been delivered with 4 safety critical bolts missing. We're also digging into FAA's oversight of Boeing.
The FAA's findings are pending right now, but will likely be included in the NTSB's final report next year.
Well, consumer confidence is up, and so is consumer spending, but it's not without consequences for Americans, with one generation particularly strained to start 2024. Karen Kafa has the details from Washington.
3 years of high inflation plus higher interest rates to tame it have equaled more financial stress on the American consumer, especially when it comes to credit cards.
More people are carrying more credit card debt for longer periods of time. We're talking record high balances, record high interest rates. It's a tough combination, unfortunately.
A report released Tuesday by the Federal Reserve Bank of New York said credit card balances rose to a new high of $1.13 trillion in the final 3 months of 2023. And credit card and auto loan delinquencies pushed past pre-pandemic levels to their highest levels in more than a decade. Researchers at the New York Fed believe the post-pandemic resumption of federal student loan payments has added to the financial stress, particularly for people ages 30 to 39. Bankrate senior industry analyst Ted Rossman says he'll be looking closely at the New York Fed's next report in May. Typically, credit card balances fall in the first quarter of the year. In 2023, they did not, which can be a troubling sign about consumers' ability to keep up.
People always have this enthusiasm about New Year's resolutions and debt payoff, and you knock out that holiday debt hangover. Last year, people really weren't able to do that, and that was largely because of high prices and high rates, and I do worry that we may see some of the same this year.
In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
And even though inflation has peaked, some economists say the impact on household debt and budgets may stick around a little bit longer.
And for weather, we're looking at some beautiful temperatures across the nation. We're looking at 50 out in Pittsburgh, 60 down in Louisville, and even some areas down south looking at those high 60s and even low 70s. So this is some really beautiful weather for the beginning of February. Looking a little closer to home, we can see that we have some temperatures lingering in the 50s still. 56 in Lancaster, 57 down here in Athens, and even 59 out in Huntington. So staying pretty mild for the most part. And as you can see, we're looking at the radar for the past couple of hours, and we're looking pretty clear. We haven't had many clouds out there to block that sunlight, so that sun has been able to come in and warm things up nicely for us throughout today and even into tomorrow. Looking out a little bit farther, we can see how we're having some showers out to the west. However, this isn't going to really affect us in the next day or so, but we can see how some things are getting stirred up out there out west. And looking at the bigger picture, we kind of see this massive weather going on out west. We see this high pressure system that's been over our area, which has been keeping us nice and clear this past week. But we can see this is not the same for those being affected by that low pressure system. We see clouds and even a cold front and some snow up here up in the northwest. But we can see how this high pressure system is going to start moving out of our area into tomorrow night, and this cold front is actually going to be moving in closer to us into tomorrow. And tomorrow night we see these showers that are going to start working its way closer and closer to us, and Friday is when we're going to be seeing the most of this moving into our area with some clouds and some showers moving in. Tomorrow, though, we're still looking really nice and warm. 61 for our temperature high and that temperature low at 44 degrees. But again, we're going to see some more cloud cover, more than what we've been seeing over the past couple of days. In these next 3 days, we're going to see this rain start to move in, starting Friday evening, moving into Saturday morning. That high of 62 on Friday is going to be nice and pleasant, but we are going to see some clouds and that 20% chance of rain possible with that overnight low of 51 degrees. And then Saturday is when we start to see a little bit of a change. And into next week, we see some more unpleasant weather. Starting Monday, we have those temperatures in the 40s, the high of 46, and a chance of rain, the lows down in the 20s. Tuesday, we're going to have a little bit of snow possible, that high of 43 degrees and a low of 27. So looking at some more unpleasant weather starting next week. Send it back to Haley.
Thanks, Leah. Well, it's American Heart Month, and all this week we've been talking about the importance of having a healthy diet, exercise, and not smoking. But there are some risk factors for heart disease that healthy lifestyles alone can't help. Mandy Gaither has more on the importance of knowing your personal and family heart health history and 3 lesser-known heart health tests that can help determine risk.
Lori Welsh knew her family history. Her mom had her first heart attack at age 48. Her grandfather, uncle, and aunt all had heart disease and all died in their early 50s. Despite that, Welsh says she first discounted a pressure in her chest and hands that went numb.
I had a 90% blockage in my left anterior descending artery, which is what they call the widowmaker.
Welsh says a screening revealed she and her mother had high levels of lipoprotein A, a protein on which cholesterol travels. It can't be controlled by healthy eating or exercise.
This is genetic, and you have it or you don't.
There are many people with higher lipoprotein A levels, but few are tested, says Dr. Wesley Milks with the Ohio State's Wexner Medical Center.
It's a form of bad cholesterol that is still undergoing increased awareness, both in the general population and among healthcare providers.
2 other screenings of which those with genetic risk should be aware: an ultrasound for aortic aneurysms to detect damage to the body's largest blood vessel, and a coronary CT calcium scan that can detect the hardening of arteries before symptoms appear. Milk says early detection is critical.
So we can develop a personalized treatment plan to try to keep their risk as low as possible.
Welsh says knowing she has high levels of lipoprotein A has guided her healthcare decisions, as it did for her mother.
We got 25 extra years with my mom because of that test, and that's an incredible gift.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Welsh is also taking part in a clinical trial at the Wexner Medical Center. Researchers are studying a new therapy, one they hope will help lower lipoprotein A levels.
Next in sports, A Waterford player shattered a school record against Wellston in last night's competition. And from the latest on Newswatch, follow us on Instagram, X, formerly Twitter, and YouTube.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow, when it comes to value, the details make all the difference.
If you look at Luke, that's a double telescoping lightsaber. That's extremely rare, and most people would never even notice it.
One of the most important people of the 20th century, Jackie Robinson. This is considered his rookie card.
Oh, wow.
You have 3 of them.
Don't miss Antiques Roadshow from Old Sturbridge Village in Massachusetts.
Monday at 8 on WOUB.
Next time on Jackie Robinson.
He had purchased the right to speak his mind many times over.
Robinson comes out swinging.
He was not an angry black man. He was an athlete who wanted to win.
And builds a lasting legacy beyond baseball.
He took on everything that we were afraid to face and succeeded.
Don't miss the conclusion of Jackie Robinson. Thursday at 9 on WOUB.
Tournament time is approaching for the girls, but we still have conference races to sort out. The Athens girls and Vinton County boys are in control of the Ohio, both needing wins to clinch their crowns. In the Hawking, the Waterford girls just need to beat Belpre. For the boys, it's a little more complicated, but it's down to Federal Hawking and Belpre. Episode 4 airs this upcoming Sunday at 11 p.m. and Monday at 6 p.m. And as always, we're reminding you to be heroic.
For more than 70 years, WOUB Public Media has been the place where people in our region turn to learn how stories of the past ignite the imagination of the future. It's where information, entertainment, and education work together to inform, enlighten, and inspire generations. It's the place where the community gathers to hear and see our world in new and innovative ways. WOUB, the public media you trust that's worthy of your support.
Welcome back to Newswatch. I'm Donovan Barney with sports. Let's get things started with Ohio men's basketball. The Bobcats traveled over to Muncie, Indiana for a conference game against the Ball State Cardinals yesterday evening. Ohio entered this game riding on the back of a 4-game win streak and fully intended to keep the ball rolling. The game ended with a tie score at the end of regulation, sending it into overtime. Senior Jalen Hunter led the way for the Bobcats with 32 points and 2 steals in the 84-79 victory. This would be Ohio's first overtime game and victory of the season. Head coach Jeff Bowles spoke about the way this team has been prepped and ready for its stretch of road games.
Loved the process our guys have gone through from game to game the last 3 weeks. You know, the preparation, the physical preparation, taking care of their bodies, you know, the mental preparation, and, you know, just the process. We talk about what are we going to do, you know, the discipline physically and mentally to prepare for the next game.
The Bobcats will continue their road stretch and travel to Jonesboro to face Arkansas State on Saturday. Moving over to the women's team, they will also be on the road, but against Bowling Green tonight at 7. The Bobcats are sitting on a 7-13 overall record this season with a 4-6 record in the MAC after falling to number 1 seed Ball State on Saturday. They'll be facing a Falcons team with an 11-9 record that is just coming off of a loss against Toledo. Both of these teams are sitting in the middle of the MAC standings and are looking to strengthen their conference resumes. Now taking a look at some high school ball, let's see what went down in the TVC last night. Let's start with Alexander at NY. Both teams came into this game off of a loss last week and were looking for a push as their regular season comes to a close. The Spartans would be no match for the Buckeyes in this one, and Nelsonville York defended home court with a very convincing 74-43 victory, behind 23 points and 6 steals from point guard Keegan Swope. The Buckeyes will host Wellston on Friday in their final home game of the season. Next up on the docket is Waterford versus Wellston. The Wildcats hit the ground running in this one, going up 39-11 at the half. The second half was much of the same. An impressive display of attack against the Golden Rockets' zone defense led to Waterford taking this one 63-24. In their commanding victory, there was one Wildcat in particular that steered the ship. It was senior guard Jarrett Armstrong, and he put up some video game numbers. He dropped 40 points while shooting 11 from 18 from downtown. Taking a look at these numbers, I would have thought this was Steph Curry on the court last night. And to make things even sweeter, Armstrong broke the school's 3-point record. Want to take a guess at who previously held it? It was Armstrong himself. Here's what the senior had to say about his historic performance at Wellston.
When I start out hot that I'm always going to have a good game,
and I started out hot. They kept playing zone, so I just kept shooting. My teammates know when I get hot to get me the ball, and they did a really good job of that tonight.
He's right. Anytime you drop 40 points in a high school game, you ought to shout out your teammates and give them some props. But with that, that's all we've got for sports this evening. Back to you, Cam.
Thanks, Donovan. Still ahead, we take one final look at weather. But first, here's a look at what's next on your public television station.
We cover all the angles. We report the facts. We find clarity. PBS is here, delivering the credible, reliable, thoughtful election coverage you need to make informed decisions. PBS, your trusted election source.
We're creating a mixed income community. Being low income shouldn't bar you from experiencing a higher quality of life.
I have grown up in a journalism environment where I was frequently the only woman in the room.
At some point, a row of trees went in.
I feel segregated. They were planted to hide this community.
We live in a virtual reality world. Everybody everywhere knows what's going on. So people are aware that there's a problem here.
I wanted her story told, and I felt good that I was the one that was able to tell it.
I know how to do other things to survive.
Rise up and say, you know what? Enough is enough.
So I want to know where it all came from.
On Finding Your Roots, Danielle Brooks
That blew my mind.
and Dionne Warwick.
I come from a singing family.
From bondage to battle.
What do you make of him?
It changes the game for my family.
And freedom gained at a cost.
Did you know you had such deep roots there?
No, it was never, ever mentioned or talked about.
Finding Your Roots.
Tuesday at 8 on WOUB.
It truly feels like spring is on the way with that weather out there.
Yeah, I was almost tempted to put some shorts on this week, but no.
Yeah, I had the shorts on. I've been enjoying the sunshine. I don't know about you guys, but Leah, is that going to continue?
It's going to continue tomorrow, but we're going to start seeing a change in temperature over the next few days. Tomorrow we're going to see that temperature high of 61 degrees and that overnight low of 44 degrees, but we're going to start seeing some cloud cover, which is going to start cooling some things down. We're going to see this high pressure system that's been keeping our skies nice and clear. It's going to move out of our area tomorrow into tomorrow night, and this cold front is going to eventually come in, kind of putting a damper on this nice warm weather that we've been having. You can see that more clearly here as that cold front moves closer to our region. And we can definitely see that in the reflection of the temperatures over the next week. We start seeing a cool down on Monday with that temperature high of 46 degrees. On Tuesday, we even have a chance of snow with that high of 43 degrees, and Wednesday, 45 with some snow.
Well, that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks so much for watching. For Leah Frizzell and Donovan Varney, I'm Haley Sueno.
And I'm Cameron Nutt. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Follow us on social media. Have a great night.
Celebrate Black History Month with WOUB and join us for